Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of I'm Gonna Talk, and you're going to listen. And this is the Bunker Codes podcast episode, I don't know. I'm your host, some guy with my co-host who's sleeping. And we've got an action-packed show for you. Not really, it's a Friday night, and if you're listening to this, congratulations, you survived another shit show. I have a list of things, but I'm probably not going to talk about them. There's the two big themes I would say for this week are negotiation and doing your homework and how to jump cars. And I don't mean how to steal them. I mean how to jump them with jumper packs. Oh, Mocha's decided to be the guest show. Hello, Mocha Bear. Alright, so I was worried. I wanted to do at least a part of this episode right away, pre-record it or something. But that didn't happen. It's just been an absolute roller coaster of a week. And this episode's brought to you by Cough Drops. When you have to talk all day and then talk all evening and then talk all night, you're going to need something. And Cough Drops with citrusy stuff is what I choose. Alright. None of this is medical, dental, or any advice about anything. Do your own research. So, I'm going to start with jumper packs first. An important part of prepping is actually knowing the hell what you're doing and not faking it. We don't like fakes and phonies. It's okay to just say you don't know, even though you're probably being modest and you probably do know something. Then most people act like they know everything and actually know nothing. So I'm not gonna pretend like I know how to jump a car. Jumping cars is a scary thing that should be respected. There's a lot of voltage when you're jumping from a car to a car. I'm not going to get into all the math and science. I talk a little bit about this in the Bunker book. This is a perfect case of, I think, explaining. Gosh darn it! Hold on. A perfect case of where explaining things, talking things through, is quite a bit better than trying to do pictures and arrows and pointing and talking, writing through things. So sit back and relax and get comfortable, or not. And if you're one of the, now dare I say, 3 people who listen to this, then congratulations, you're one step closer to the edge. I don't know. So let's talk about the weather first of all, to set the scene. It's been like freezing rain crap, and then nice, bright, sunny, shiny, warmy, warm. And then freezing rain crap, and then bright, shiny, warmy, warm. And we've been taking our time to go rescue this car because we had to take care of our own car before we could rescue the other car. You know, don't just take your chances and wing everything, because obviously the risk would have been that we would have been out 2 cars. You've heard the story about the dog and the bone and looking in the water and dropping the bone. So we made sure that car was safe. We took care of our car. We went and rescued that car, and it had been sitting. And so I want to talk a little bit about doing your research. That's going to be a running theme. While YouTube is up, I highly recommend. Now, is YouTube a substitute for training? No. Is it a substitute for practice? No. But you can at least watch enough videos to at least know what not to do, and what your chances for success probably are. And because of the unknown virus of unspecified origins, a lot of people have been resurrecting dead cars lately. And it's good because there's a lot of new anecdotal information of resurrecting dead cars between 6 months and 3 years. I'll again say do your own research, because no two cars are the same, no two issues are the same. There could be like rodents living out of your vehicle. You're going to be in a different situation. There could be homeless living in your vehicle. Your vehicle could be missing tons of parts. But best case scenario, if your vehicle's been sitting for more than a month or two, best case scenario is that the battery's going to be dead. So, freezing cold temperatures, need to jump the battery. The keys to the door aren't going to work with the little key fob thing. So, you have to use your key to unlock the door like an old-fashioned, way back in the, the Stone Age, when you had to use your car keys to actually open the car door. I know, like, probably half of the people alive right now don't even remember how to actually use your key to unlock a car door. It is possible. You might have to turn it to the left or the right, probably the left. I don't know what to tell you. So you use your key, which I know is scary, but you can put your key in the little keyhole. Turn it probably to the left. Make sure your keys go in all the way. Well, I know most cars now don't even have a key to start the vehicle, but you'll have to pretend. You put the key all the way in, and then you turn it to the left, and then usually there's like a mechanism that opens the car door lock, and then you can lift the handle. Hopefully the car has a handle and you can open the door. So the first thing you need to do after that, first make sure no rodents are going to fly at your face and try to make love to your face. And when you're sure there's no rodents or snakes, depending on what part of the country you're in, you might have to wear a mask, might not if they left, some food in there, or if you left, whatever. You're going to make sure that all the lights are shut off. In this case, not only were the lights on, but the brights were on, and the heat was on. That makes it insanely hard to jump a vehicle, unless you're jumping it with a much stronger battery. So, make sure the lights are off, the brights are off, make sure the windshield wipers are off, make sure the heat is off, which we'll get more to that later. If there's any USB crap plugged in, unplug it all. Radio, if there's some kind of radio, if you can tell if it's turned off or not, make sure the radio's off. Make sure everything's off. You're going to pop the trunk. I know that's kind of scary, but down sort of like where the gas is, there will be another kind of a pulley deal underneath the dash to the left. It'll have a picture on it that'll look like the hood. And you're going to pull that until you make the hood hear a thunk, the thunk noise. That's because a spring just released tension on this little kind of a J-shaped deal under the hood. So while wearing gloves, you go out back to the front of the hood, and then you're going to reach your fingers under there until you feel a little lever that you can pull up, and then that releases the hood. And you carefully pull the hood up and make sure nothing jumps out and tries to hump your face again. Furry critters in some states and slithery critters in some states. And then there's going to be like a little kickstand sort of a deal, and you pop the little kickstand out from the hood, or from the base of the vehicle, and poke it up into a hole in the hood. And make sure later you don't slam the hood back down, because that'll destroy your hood. So, once you're sure there's no nests in there or anything, you also got to check all the vents. All right. So, in the in the hood of the vehicle, the engine compartment, there's going to be a lot of scary stuff you've probably never seen before. There's going to be, you know, different oils, you know, windshield wiper fluid, antifreeze, you know, all kinds of belts and pulleys and levers, and you know, hopefully you've got a flashlight that's not going to bounce back and blind you. This is also a good time to check under the vehicle and make sure nothing's leaking, and so best case, nothing's leaking. And down in the windshield wipers area, you've got to make sure there's no, like, around here, like the Doug furs will just coat those vents in needles, and the needles will get wet, and you've got to get all the needles out, make sure the engine compartment's nice and clean. And there's going to be a part that's the battery. Usually on the left of the battery usually is a positive terminal, and on the right is a positive terminal, and if the caps are on it, and if it hasn't gotten soaking wet, there won't be any corrosion. In my case, on the positive side, which is usually the red side, the red positive left side, usually. Unfortunately, while it had a cap, the cap was not on it, and the damn thing was corroded to shit. It wasn't like super duper corroded, but it was pretty corroded. So, ideally, you've brought a wire brush with you or something and can kind of brush some of that corrosion off, but you don't want to shower the whole kit and caboodle with corrosive friggin' battery alkaline jizz everywhere either. Alkaline? No, acid. It's not alkaline, it's an acid. Anyway, I wrote a huge section of the bunker book explaining alkalines and acids and how to neutralize it. Suffice it to say, best practice is to wear gloves and goggles at a minimum, if not something over your mouth too, in case something goes wrong with all the frickin' acid crap everywhere. In case something horrible's happened to the battery. I wear gloves, and I wear glasses anyway, so as long as I was wearing the gloves, I'm not super worried. But if you start wire brushing it, like the crud off, you need to wear a mask and goggles. You do not want that crap in your eyes, and you don't want to breathe it either. So anyway, once you've got the crud off the terminals, usually again, the left, the positive, the red, the right, the negative, the black. I use a jumper pack from Costco. I don't recommend it. This isn't a paid advertisement. That's the one I use. It's one of the most common ones. It's just like, it's the same size as like one of those teeny tiny, you know, portable anchor batteries that you throw in your backpack. In fact, it's basically the same thing, except it's got jumper cables on it. So before you, assuming that it's all charged and actually working properly, more on that later. You plug in the little power pack deal to the little jumper cable deals. Don't turn it on yet, because that way, if everything does clack-a-lack together, you don't cause an explosion or like weld everything together on accident. So, you know, red to red, black to black. Red positive goes first. Black. Hey, how's it going? We have a live studio audience, everybody. I'm explaining how I jumped a car over and over and over and over with a power pack. If you're just tuning in, so red to positive first, black to negative second, or if there's no negative, you put it on the frame so it'll ground out something blah 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 electricity. And the way these smart packs work, they're kind of like, hey, he's doing something down there. Ooh. And then it'll turn on and it'll start kind of like reading things and telling you to do stuff on the digital readout. And this is where you need to make sure, you know, you put your positive on, like I said, get the positive on there really, really, really good. That's why you want as much of the corrosion off as possible. Yeah. Red to red and pray you're not colorblind. Well, yeah, or pray there's not so much corrosion on there that some dingbat didn't put the damn battery in backwards. Which is why you need to be absolutely positive that you know which is positive and negative. Because there are vehicles where the battery is turned around or it's just, you know, at a 45 degree or 45 degree, 90 degree angle, whatever. Like, someone could have put the battery in their back. You don't want to kill yourself, because you will. There's a lot of voltage. Anyway, you need to get the red on there really. Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. Coca-Cola works really good for corrosion, but I've seen videos where if the corrosion has gotten down into the battery pan thing, battery shelf, and then the Coke gets down in there and it starts interacting with all that, it won't send you back to your maker and to respawn later back into the queue, but you will make a huge mess. And so if it's only a little bit of corrosion you got to clean off, and you're sure there's no more in like the battery shelf diddly do, then yeah, some Coke will clean it off. If you don't have a wire brush. You know what's funny is there was a bunch of Diet Coke in the car. I don't know if Diet Coke works or not, but there was a bunch of Diet Coke in the car that we could have used. I totally forgot about that. I should have put that in the book. But, well, in the apocalypse, there probably won't be any left. That'll be probably the first thing to go. But yeah, so you got to get the positive on there really, 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 really good. Oh yeah, I know it does work. It cleans it right up. However, if there's more, it'll just keep interacting and make a huge mess that then you have to clean up. So you use it sparingly. Don't pour the whole can on your battery. But if you don't want to do any of that, you can go watch YouTube videos of other people doing it, and it's quite entertaining. Don't do it yourself. This is why you do your own research. Yeah, it is a quite spectacular mess that you can make, but it does work in a pinch. So you get the positive on there really, 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 really good. You got to make a good connection on your positive, and then you got to get your negative on there. But you've got to get, yeah, and pray your, oh, I know. Yeah, if your battery box is destroyed, and then you do it, then you're screwed. You have to, like, install a new battery box, because yeah. I've never seen any that bad, but I've seen YouTube videos of them that bad. And replacing the battery box is a whole deal. So, when you get your negative on, you have to get that clamp on really, 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 really good, too. You have to get a good, solid connection. And I cannot underestimate that. If you just get like a flimsy connection, oh, the alligator clamp is kind of on the connection a little bit on the edges of the teeth. No. The alligator clamp has to be on there really, really solid. And hope that the battery pack doesn't wake up and want to start working right away, because it does this irritating beep and it'll say battery protected, which it's really not. It usually just means you've got a really crappy connection on your negative. And it makes you unplug and restart the whole thing and yada, yada, yada. It's a pain in the ass. So, problem number one. You know, you go through all that and it's like, beep, battery protected. Yeah. And then it shuts off to, you know, supposedly to protect itself or whatever, so you don't blow yourself to kingdom come and destroy your batteries. And it won't turn back on. So what I do is I keep a second battery pack to charge the jumper battery for just like 30 seconds. And then it kind of wakes up and rethinks about its life and decides it wants to give the world another go. The problem is that it's freezing ass cold, which is why you should always be prepared for freezing ass cold temperatures and wind and rain, freezing bastard rain. And again, another part of the bunker book, don't forget, these batteries, like rechargeable lithium ion batteries, work like dog shit in the cold. Trying to jump batteries in the cold sucks. it takes like something like 20 to 30% of the energy and power out of them. It sucks. So you might have to bring your jumper pack back in like a second car or something and like warm it up, plug it back into another battery pack, and wait a minute for it to tell you what percentage it's really at. It can say it's at 100 and actually like it's 70%. This is what happened to me. I knew it wasn't at 100%, but it had been sitting in the cold, and I was trying to plug it in to the USB. It was telling me, no, it's at 100%. I tried to charge it in, or I tried to plug it in, jump the car, boom, it shot down to like less than 70%. So I knew I was in trouble. I knew I only had one more chance. You get these battery packs under 60% and they won't jump a battery anymore. So I bring a second battery pack, charge the jumper pack into the second one, wait about a minute for it to tell me what percentage it's really at, and I get it over 70%. Because it can take like about 3 to 10% of one of these jumper packs to actually jump a battery. Again, provided you have the lights, USB, windshield wipers, stereo, all of that turned off. So that way all of the power can go to the alternator. So a few things. If you get the battery pack plugged in right before you even jump the car, I have seen the electronics start to turn on as they start to pull power from the battery before you even turn the key to turn the car on. I plugged in the jumper pack once and the odometer turned on, which was pretty neat. The new battery packs suck. Yeah, they do suck. Yes, I guess to just jump to the moral of the story. The new battery packs suck. My brother has one of the big ones, those big like industrial with the yellow. One of the big ones, those things suck too. It doesn't matter if you get a little one or a big one. They all, from Costco, they all suck. So I suggest getting like 2. Yeah, because you'll need one of them to charge the other one. If you can get a battery charger, great. But if you're in the middle of nowhere, you can't do that. Plus, battery chargers can take like 2 damn days to work. But that's a different story. Although if you have enough of a backup grid, backup batteries, I guess conceivably you can charge your battery charger into your off-grid and then run solar and do it that way. But I don't know how many amps and watts and stuff it takes to charge, like, for example, a big, what are those, like 20-volt truck batteries, whatever those giant truck batteries are. Anyway, so you may or may not see, like, the odometer and stuff turn on, but you only have, like, 30 seconds to run in and start to jump the car, because that little jumper pack is already starting to drain. And it needs to surge as much power as those poor little batteries can to try to get your alternator going. And you don't want to just turn the keys on really quick and turn it off. It's gonna turn a little bit. No. You can run a small DVD player, otherwise no. There are enough juice in these battery packs to start a car. Just barely. And they can charge up to a mid-size SUV just barely. But they can do it. And so you can don't let up. Let it go for about... What the hell? The hell was that? Was that you? That wasn't you. That was weird. I don't know if Ringo just woke himself up growling at something. Were you having a bad dream? Did you wake yourself up growling? Okay. That was weird. So let it go for a couple seconds. And if it's not happening after about 10 seconds, it's not happening. So let the ignition off. Most people aren't smart enough to figure that out. I know. That is why I am making this podcast. So, and then after about 10 seconds, like, okay, you're like, hey, it's kind of almost there. And so let the key off and then go out and check the battery and see if it wants you to disconnect it, or see, because some of these new batteries, they're kind of smart, right? And so they'll tell you like try again, or they'll say like disconnect and reconnect, and so, or it might want you to disconnect them, turn it off, and turn it back on to kind of reset the juice a little bit. The drag on the alternator draws the power. Yes, it draws the power. You just don't want to do it too long. But you know, if the alternator's like doing okay, you might let it go for like the 10 seconds. But my point is like, don't just like let the alternator do like 2 turns and then stop, because you'll kill it if you do that, and you'll waste your battery. You'll waste your jumper pack. So, you know, let the alternator turn a couple times and listen to it. You'll kind of like get a feeling, you get a rhythm going, na 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 na, and you can like hear if the alternator is like speeding up or slowing down. If it's slowing down and you're not going to get it, then you're not going to get it. Go check the battery, see what it wants you to do. If it wants you to unplug it, plug it back in, whatever. But this time you're going to unplug. You're going to do everything in reverse. You're going to unplug the negative first, and then unplug the positive. Okay. So, and, you know, don't touch the alligator clamps together. Yeah, and exactly. And if it speeds up, if the alternator starts speeding up, that means your vehicle's going to get going. And then, if your vehicle does get going on the first try, then holy shit, congratulations, your jumper pack doesn't suck. You'll have just about 30 seconds to run out there and go grab it. An alarm will go off on the battery. The battery's telling you to run out there and go grab it, because if your car battery and alternator start backfeeding that little jumper pack, it's gonna go. You don't want that. It's bad. So it'll go ree, and so you'll be all excited. You'll be like, yeah, I got the vehicle going. I'm a Chad. I'm getting something tonight. I'm the man. Meow wow. And then you realize, like, no shit, I gotta go run out there and get that damn battery off before it turns into a you know what. And then you just remember, you take off the negative, the black, the negative, then the positive. Don't touch the alligator clamps together. You're gonna have some bad times. Don't touch the negative to the positive. Don't touch the negative to the positive to the battery. Don't do any of those things, or it'll be horrible. So keeping the positive and the negative apart is kind of hard, because everything wants to dangle like it's a hot day outside. And yeah, turn the little jumper pack off, unplug the alligator clamps before you forget, and then go zippity zoop back. And if it's raining, bring the battery pack with you. Don't leave it there. You know, same thing with the battery pack case. The wind could like blow it right into your engine compartment. In fact, I recommend don't put the battery case anywhere near your car engine, because your it was windy and nasty, and the wind was like blowing the battery case, trying to blow the battery case into the engine compartment. So you're gonna run out of hands. If you have a helper, like a kid or somebody, just say, hey, like, hold all this, don't set any of it down, because you don't want to lose any of the parts. You know, obviously, like, unplug the alligator clips, turn the battery off, you know, turn the little jumper pack battery off, hand it to a kid, or bring some of it with you and set it down in the car. And then what you're going to do is you're going to double check and make sure everything is actually turned off. Make sure the wipers are turned off, the lights are, you're going to check all that again. Because that alternator, you think your battery's like charged and stuff. No, it takes forever to charge a battery. And you want that alternator to run for like 10 or 15 minutes. Not only so it can get the battery charged a little bit, but because your fuel has now got to cycle through, because your fuel's been stuck in the injectors for 6 months or however long. And if it's like 10% ethanol, which most of it is now, then it's like really gunked up. So it's going to be a little dirty. Which reminds me, check the exhaust and make sure no critters are in the exhaust too. You should have done that already. But if not, you'll know, because your car will start filling up with exhaust, and you know something's in your exhaust pipe. So after you're sure everything in the car is off, you check the dash for any codes. Make sure no little icons are red, besides probably the seatbelt and the baggy things, bag things. Whatever the hell those things are called. Alternator only maintains your battery. Yep, exactly. Alternator only maintains your battery, especially if it's idling. Hardly charges it at all. That's why it takes your vehicle like forever to defrost in the morning. Because your alternator just hardly generate. Even if your heat's on like full blast, you know, batteries can only be drained down to like 80% before those things start to suck, because it takes a ton of energy to start your vehicle. And then the alternator only charges a little bit too. And so once you get your vehicle actually driving, it's like running a generator. But when it's just idling, it's just this like little rinky-dink alternator. So that's why you want your heat off, your lights off, your wipers off, all the USB unplugged. Fuel injection low battery will not keep. Right. Yeah, if you have fuel injection low battery, will not keep your car running. Yeah, so and if the alternator is shot to hell too, if you're not driving the vehicle around, it's gonna die anyway. However, if the alternator is at least semi-okay, like if the vehicle can run on a dead battery, your alternator is at least a little okay. But you'll know, because if you turn the lights on and they just immediately start dimming, or if you're looking at the odometer and, you know, a hood open indicator or something, you'll know the alternator is probably trashed, and you'll need a new alternator. Probably. It could be a couple of other things, but the next thing you need to do, don't turn the heat on. Unplug the black cable and tell if your alternator's bad. I know, that's a little advanced for me. I know what you're saying. I've never done that before. But yeah, you can completely unplug your battery altogether and then figure out if your alternator is bad, because the car will die. I don't recommend newbies doing that though, but more advanced people, that is a very good troubleshooting technique. But if you're like in a shit hits the fan scenario, not at your home with your shop, and you just got to get the vehicle out of there. None of this is illegal, by the way. This is just how to jumpstart your battery. In case anyone's like has no idea what I'm saying and is freaking out right now. Yeah, if all the lights and everything start dimming while it's running, you've got a big alternator problem. And then in which case you shouldn't turn those things on until you actually have the car going. Although you still, unfortunately, if that's the case, then like as soon as you get to a red light, like your car could die. So you, at that point, like you really got to weigh your pros and cons of how dire the situation is, how bad you need to move the vehicle. But yeah, make sure there's no like check engine light, you know, check the fuel gauge to see how much fuel is in the damn thing. And if you can, let it run for 15 minutes so the frickin' fuel can cycle. Otherwise, like if you just turn it on for 5 seconds, don't really check anything and just leave it turned off, you haven't cycled the fuel, you haven't charged the battery. You know, at best you can just like check the odometer and a couple of gauges, but like sometimes it takes like check engine lights and stuff a couple of seconds to turn on, to really like run all the codes. So yeah, and then get back out as soon as you can, as soon as you think the car is going to be running okay. Then you start listening for noises. Listen to the belt, listen to the engine, make sure there's no rattling. If there was any caps on the battery terminals, put the caps back on the battery terminals carefully, you know. Get a flashlight, back out, and inspect the vehicle. Some other cars like 80s, you can't jump it off your starter even if the battery's dead. Yeah, I know. That's a good point. You need a battery charger in that case. And also, I guess some of the newer cars you can't jump either because the batteries have some kind of diddly-do on them. And I don't know anything about EVs, electronic vehicles. Don't even open those or deal with those at all. And yeah, so in this case, not only were the lights on, but the brights were on and the heat was on. I didn't realize it, and that's why I had such a hard time jumping it. Part of it. And the other part of it is I didn't have... Oh, you need a screwdriver? That's advanced stuff. Okay, we're not getting into advanced stuff. I don't know how to jump an 80s vehicle with a screwdriver, so I'm not going to try to explain it. But I've also never seen it done. If it's anything older than like a 90s vehicle, I always see people just use a car charger. Yeah, so I had problems because the lights and the brights were on because they got bumped. And it's really hard to tell, you know, especially if you don't know the vehicle. So that was hard. And then also the heat was on, which is a huge drain. But the whole time I drove it, I couldn't get the heat off, which I think is part of the reason why the alternator never charged the battery, even though I was on the freeway. So I think the alternator is bad, but I couldn't turn the heat off, which didn't help. Although it did dry the car out, and since it was freezing out, it made the ride home pleasant, but it didn't charge the battery, so there's pros and cons. But the lights and the brights, those shouldn't have been on. I screwed up. And then the alligator clamps weren't on all the way, and it was freezing ass cold. So, anyway, damn, it took me like 37 minutes to explain that, when really once you have the whole thing down, it takes about 30 seconds. But yeah, I practiced that. When you get out of your car, always shut everything off, even the radio. Yeah. Some people have a bad habit of leaving the radio on really, really loud when they shut their car off because they think they're all hoity-toity, making their entrance and then leaving the vehicle on blast. That kills a battery. And they also have the friggin' heat turned on max, or the AC turned on max when they turn the damn car off. It is a massive drain on a battery. Like, not the radio, but the speakers are a massive drain on the battery. And heat and AC, especially on max, that is a huge ass drain on the battery. Unfortunately, this car, the heat seems to be stuck on. There's no off button for the heat, which is really weird. Boop boop doop 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 doop. Yeah, again, when you close the hood, don't forget to carefully, gently set the little kickstand down and snap it safely back in place, or you will cause hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars in damage to your hood, and everyone will look at you like you're a freaking moron. And don't lock your keys in the car with the car on. Don't do any of those things. And yeah. Don't jump other people's vehicles unless you're sure it's not an ambush. And if you're going to jump vehicle to vehicle, you have to be about 10 million times safer, because that is a lot of electricity traveling through jumper cables. I've also heard if it's too long, you can like link two pairs of jumper cables together. I've never done that. That sounds really dangerous. But apparently that is a thing. And you should start your car once a week. Even if you're home or sick or something, somebody needs to go turn your car on once a week and leave it running for 15 minutes to keep the fuel cycle in the battery. Batteries, shitty alternators, parasitic charge can drain your battery like by 20% within a week. and below 80%, you cannot guarantee that that car is going to charge. Remember, car batteries are not the same as lithium ion or lithium iron phosphate. They are not meant to be depleted and regenerated. They are meant to be kept at 100% and just used down to 20% for the one time to turn them on, which is why don't drive 5 seconds to the store with your AC blasting. That will kill your battery. Do your research and learn how to do this now. If somebody needs to jump a car, watch them do it now. Try to learn. Ask if you can do it. Ask if they can show you how to do it. Everybody should know how to jump cars. Everybody, unless they're teeny tiny and can't even see up there, then they should stay far away so the alligator clamps don't hurt them and stuff. But if they're old enough to see over the hood, they can probably be pretty helpful, because an extra pair of hands to hold things is all the better to not get fried and drop something and have two things touch that shouldn't. Even when I was a kid, I would help hold the jumper cables, because he could unplug. Good. Your kid knows what to do and helps you and tells you what to do. Good. When I was a kid, even jumping like the big truck, jumping other vehicles, even when I was like littler, I could still hold one of the positives and one of the negatives and make sure they didn't touch. So like even a kid can be, obviously if they're not a toddler, like, you know, a young man or young gal, can still be very helpful to jumping a vehicle, just because they can hold the alligator clamps for you and make sure they don't touch after you've jumped it, or if you're in the middle of setting up the jump. With standard jumper cables, jumping a vehicle by yourself is a bitch. With a jumper pack, it's totally doable. Although it is still nice to have a second person in the car that knows what the alternator is supposed to sound like, so you can just yell at them to start it as soon as the beeper's ready. Because even with a jumper pack, you gotta set it up right, get the clamps on like really good, and you still only have a couple seconds to get in there. Yeah, get them involved by holding it, and they'll learn how to do it. Not only that, but they will learn to not fear it. I think kids justifiably have a fear of the unknown, especially when they are giant alligator clamps attached to a giant battery. I think that's a healthy fear of the unknown. But you can also, if you teach them like the science behind it, just like firearms. You know, I didn't tell my kid about firearms until he was 18 or 21 or 25. They didn't even know I had one, and they were shocked. Ugh, shut up. It's the same thing with like guns. Meow. Guns and jumper cables. Both loud exhaust scares kids. Yeah, I know. Me, when I was a kid, like, even me, like, sitting on the steering wheel and, like, pushing the gas pedal scared me to death, even when it was in neutral. But it's because my dad never explained what was happening and that it was okay. And so I was like, he needed my help working on a car once, and I was really little, and I remember, like, I was mortified to even put my foot on the gas, because he didn't explain, like, no, it's in park, it can't move, I'm gonna push the gas, see, it's fine. That way I could have like revved the engine so he could have worked on it. Like, he never taught me that, but he taught me the jumper cable thing early on. And so involving kids, I think with a lot of those things, like jumper cables, in my opinion, jumper cables on a battery can easily be just as dangerous as a firearm, especially to kids and adults. So I think teaching them early a healthy respect and the science, and they can be very helpful. And just know to not touch those two clamps together, and don't touch those clamps to anything else. And you'll have a new little trooper in training. Alright, and that is the end of our show. It's a short one. If you're one of the 3 people that listens to this, congratulations. Bunker Codes Hardbound Collector's Edition is out. My pre-orders are coming on Sunday for all the wonderful people who pre-ordered. Thank you. Everybody else, I'm not doing any more pre-orders. There's going to be no more signed copies for the foreseeable future. So congratulations to those of you that pre-ordered the hardbounds. You'll get your signed copies. Everybody else has got to get one the old-fashioned way, and they won't be signed. And yeah, I think I'll end it with this because the T-Man finally got indicted over like total bullshit BS that's like absolutely provably totally false. Chat says they're excited by all the precedents that it sets, and I was already reading Twitter earlier, and it was like the pictures of like every single other like corrupt politician and official that like if they can arrest him for this, then they can just arrest all of them. And so I'm sure there's stuff being drafted, and I wouldn't be the least bit surprised at all. And I say this with no irony because usually I never think anything is going to happen. I never thought this was going to happen either. But since it has, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a ton of people getting arrested in the next couple weeks. They might be let back out, and they may be like totally fake arrests. But regardless, it does set a precedent, and I would not even be surprised if there's just tons. And yeah, there could be like more conservatives getting arrested too. I don't know. It could just turn into just tons and tons of people on both sides getting arrested. And I think that would be hilarious because they should have left T-Man alone, especially over something like this, which is absolutely provable to be a complete nothing burger from the not victim herself. This was all on her handler. The whole thing is an absolute nothing zero. Completely. And so if they're able to arrest him on this, they could arrest anybody on anything. It blows my mind. It's like, this is a weird battle. This was a weird battle for them to choose because it's probably going to get tons of people on their own side. This was a big dick measuring contest that got completely out of control. Everybody knows it. And I think everyone's going to go ahead and just let him get arrested just to watch the shit show unfold of just everybody getting arrested. Not above the law is their downfall. Nobody's above the law. It's like, dude, he didn't do anything. Her handler like made the whole thing up. Like, this was all settled years ago. It's just so stupid. I understand that people don't like him. I get it. This is the dumbest thing to go after. You've got Epstein. You've got Hill Dog. You've got the laptops and the diaries, and like the list is a mile long. And Ghislaine Maxwell, which I can't remember if she actually finally ended up doing some prison. She was trying to use someone else as a defense of like why she shouldn't get indicted even though she's 100% guilty. I forgot whose defense she was trying to use, but it was something that had just nothing. It wasn't equivocal to her case at all. Was it? It wasn't that Cosby got off. It was somebody else. But it was a bad take. And it's just like, if you can indict somebody on something that is demonstrably approved to be completely false, and you can still indict them for it, then that just opens up the floodgates to just a bunch of weirdness. You can't arrest someone just because you don't like them. Like, you can't. It's just weird. And I don't know if they thought it was going to get the fan base riled up and have another Fantastic Freddy or something. But conservatives aren't stupid, and they know what a trap looks like. Which is why there was like Trump impersonators running around, which is just the most hilarious thing on the planet. I saw videos of like Trump impersonators out and about, and that's funny. That's such just a giant troll. I would people are gonna do the exact opposite of what the left, especially what the left expects. Because I think people understand that trolling is about 1,000,000 times more effective than actually doing something that's going to get people in trouble. That's why the whole Kekistani, Pepe the Frog, and Apu the Frog, and all these other memes and the whole NPC thing. That's why it was all so effective. A, because the left can't meme, and B, because mocking the living shit out of people is infinitely more effective than having a war, because after you mock the shit out of people, you can just go back and do something else for the rest of the night instead of be in jail or dead. That's the whole freedom of speech thing. Like, if everyone just talked things out and the best ideas moved forward, and if you don't like somebody, just don't watch them. But instead, like, the pure vitriol and hate over conservatives, right? Like, whether they do good things or bad things or dumb things, like, they hate them no matter what. Like, the mask wearers hated them for not wearing masks, and then the mask wearers hated them for making fun of them after the masks. Oh, the Netherlands walked out on... Wow. I hadn't heard that. Yeah, and conservatives need to shut up when lefty-loos are wearing masks, and they shouldn't make fun of them. I know I just said mocking, but like, if a lefty-loo wants to wear a mask, just let him wear a mask and leave him alone. You don't have to mock the shit out of them and make them feel uncomfortable for being out and about. If they're wearing a mask, then they're a true believer. You should be happy. A conservative should be happy if you run into a lefty-loo that is a true believer, versus somebody who's doing it because they're told to. Anyone wearing a mask now is not doing it because they were told to. They're doing it because they're a true believer. And is the whole vax thing and the mask thing a cult? Maybe some of it is. But let them wear their damn mask. Like, leave them alone. Don't make yourself out to be an asshole, because you make all the rest of us look like assholes. Then we get called magats and all these other just stupid names. Yeah, it's just like, it doesn't hurt my feelings when I get called all these dumb names. I just shake my head, and it's sad, because the left can't meme, they can't insult, they can't mock. They just get in their echo chambers and repeat something stupid because they think it sounds funny. They can't invent anything new. Just leave them alone. The best ideals will run to the top. If they're leaving everybody alone, leave them alone. Because that's what you say. If you just want to be left alone, leave them alone. Shit is that simple. Don't. That's why some conservatives, so-called conservatives, can just be such fucking assholes. It doesn't help. Running out and being a prick to people doesn't help anybody. You're not a conservative if you're just running around being a prick. And I know I said mocking XYZ, but like, do it from a perspective of like moral high ground and exercising your freedom to disagree with their speech and come up with something intelligent to say. Don't just like shit on people. Bone marrow transplants, yeah, that's one. Another one, like, they could be a cancer patient, or they could have just gone through chemo. They could have, you know, they could have, was it immune deficiencies? I can't think of the right words. And yeah, you know, it's like, well, that maybe they, if someone could sneeze on them and they could just literally die, then yeah, they probably shouldn't be out and about, because that's a rough situation to put all of the normies in. Just like people that are allergic to dogs, it's like, maybe if you're allergic to dogs, you just shouldn't be out. Because if we're gonna have, you know, the pity victim Olympics, what about somebody with a seeing eye dog? Like, are you saying that the person with the seeing eye dog shouldn't be out because the person that's allergic to dogs? Like, fuck off. You know, so you know, some of that, there needs to be some level of, you know, intelligence and rationale. Like, now, if somebody's wearing their mask under their chin, then like, it's gonna be hard not to laugh. I saw somebody wearing their mask around under their chin yesterday, and I couldn't help it. And I turned right around and went back to what I was doing. But you don't sit there and mock them, but you're just, it's gonna crack you up. Wearing masks on your chin is just, and I'm not saying people are asking for it because they do XYZ, but if you're wearing your mask on your chin, people are gonna laugh at you. Period. Unless you're in, like, you know, the food industry and you can't get hair everywhere. But they don't wear masks. They wear the clear things that keep their hair from getting anywhere. Anyway, if you want people to be respectful to you, they don't have to earn it. You just have to be respectful to them. You have to earn it. Everyone's got to be respectful to each other. Even if you don't like them. Don't be a piece of shit. You know, that's the whole thing with identities. If you want to be a part of an identity, what you got to do is represent that identity well. Because, like, you were talking about corrupt DAs earlier. That is a problem on so many levels. And not only are, you know, is there bad prosecutions going on, not only is there bad search warrants and stuff going on, but they are letting murderers and psychos out of prison also. Yeah, we can't help each other if we put each other down. And what if you need that person's help? And, you know, you might be hoity-toity. I don't need anyone's help. They might need your help. Like, do you think you're going to go to heaven if you're just a giant piece of shit? I don't care how much you ask for forgiveness and go to church and do your Hail Marys and twiddle around with your wooden rosary thing. If you're a piece of shit, you're not getting into heaven. I don't care what the Bible says. I don't care what the Pope and the Pope Mobile says. If you're a piece of shit, you're not going to heaven. You can believe that he died for your sins and the Virgin Mary and XYZ and the Holy Ghost, and he died to save your sins and everything, and he resurrected 7 days later. And if you're a piece of shit, you're not going to heaven. Don't be a piece of shit. Like, if you think the point of the Bible is that you can be a piece of shit and then ask for forgiveness, you've missed the point. It's not about tithing or kissing the Pope's ring or whatever the hell, or exercising as many witches as you can. No, just don't be a piece of fucking human garbage. And because we are all going to need each other's help, because these DAs keep letting out raging murderous, unadulterated, absolute 100% psychopaths. And I don't mean like, oh no, there's like a scary MMA guy that has the capacity to do XYZ. They are letting people out. And they are letting them into the cities. And they are immediately turning around and murdering people. And it happened again the other day. This is becoming a wider and wider spread thing. In a city nearby, they just let 200 of them out again the other day. Hey, how's it going? Oh, 2 things. Love the Lord with all your soul and mind and body, and love your neighbor as yourself. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We need to all be on the same team because, like I said, nearby they just let 200 people out. In a city up like northeast, they let a bunch of level 3 worst of the worsts out, like 50 of them or something, some huge number. You might not like someone's politics or the color of their skin, or their animal might bark and they might like mow their lawn at weird hours and stuff, or they might let their car run, you know, because it may be a diesel and they have to let it run and it's annoying. They might even have a Harley and they might like to open it up at the end of the road, you know, or they might drive scooters around and it might be really annoying. They might might walk their dog by and it makes your dog bark. Well, this is part 2. This is part 2 of the podcast. But you know what? Like, when they're letting like hundreds of murderous psychos out on purpose, and the drug epidemic, and the gangs, we are fighting a losing battle. And if you're worried that the person at the other end of the street has like a flag you don't like, I don't care if it's a BLM flag or I don't care what flag. I don't care what flag it is. And they got a flag you don't like, or they play music you don't like. None of that shit is going to matter when these DAs are letting out hundreds of psychopaths, criminally psychos. They immediately reoffend because they have been, and they may not have been bad people. They may have committed some innocent crime at first, but when they're in jail, they get radicalized into a whole level of animal that, like, outside of prison does not understand. They turn into animals in jail. Not all of them, but some of them do. You don't go to jail to be rehabilitated. It turns you into a monster most of the time. And then you get let back out and you don't know how to cope. And some of these people are criminally insane, like the Batman movies. And I don't mean like the redeemable, you know, gray area, anti-hero-ish kind of bad guys. And not even like... Most of the bad guys in Batman are like fairly redeemable-ish. Or they have some sort of gray area. I'm talking about like criminally insane people that grab the first thing that they can find as a weapon, and they find the first person and they just go unleashed. I'm talking about like these that run around, they stab like 20 people for hours. This shit happens all the time and people just don't want to see it. So I don't care what flag your neighbor has, or what music they listen to. I guarantee you they are going to be a better ally to you, unless they're a horrible person and they just haven't got caught yet and people are disappearing in their basement or whatever. Then, you know, use your best judgment. But like, there's going to be psychos running around. If they're not in your area, they will be soon. And I'm not saying like be super paranoid of everybody, but like you gotta learn who your neighbors are and talk to your neighbors and your friends, and watch over everyone's cars, and make sure everyone locks their cars, and make sure everyone shuts their garages, and don't leave your tools out, and get right with God. And Nebraska took first place for overcrowded prisons. What was the other thing I was gonna say? The cop laws aren't getting any better. Firearms laws aren't getting any better. In fact, they're trying to like nerf the police even worse. Was that in DC? Was that in DC? They were trying to like nerf the police even worse. I'm like, dude, DC is like, yeah. Meow. Yeah, I just read that like about DC, and DC's already ultra dangerous, and it's practically a police state. Just like New York. Well, upstate New York, whatever. I don't know, any New York bullshit. Police state, and they were trying to like nerf the police there. It's like, dude, you're gonna lose DC and you're gonna lose New York. Not the police are some of those places. They're ran like gangs. I get it. The alternative is like total lawlessness. I don't know. I don't live there. But the police situation is not getting any better, and the firearms self-defense situation is not getting. Oh, he's Ringo's sassing me. Meow. So, everyone's got to like watch your six and get right with your neighbors and get right with God. Because these stupid indictments and the shit that the DAs are pulling, they're arresting people and they're letting other people go. They're playing God basically. And I'm not saying anything needs to happen. Everyone, cooler heads need to prevail, and everything's fine. And I love everybody and vote and stuff. I'm not saying to do anything bad. I'm just saying get right with your neighbors. Get right with God, because it's coming. The civil unrest is coming. The homeless, the drug thing, the gangs, the criminals being constantly let out. The jails are overflowed. Cops just keep getting defunded over and over, and they keep getting nerfed. And I'm repeating myself. Get training. Read the Bible. Get right with your friends. Get your vehicles fixed. Don't worry about nukes. Don't worry about tidal waves. Don't worry about tornadoes unless you're in a place that gets tornadoes. Don't worry about your sliding off into the ocean or don't worry about that shit. There's like immediate, clear, and present issues that are going to be impacting us very, very soon, which is why we need to keep each other safe and have nice level heads and open discourse and use your words to say rational things. And yeah, the worse it gets, the worse we find out who our real friends are. So calmer heads prevail. Love thy neighbor. My whole book series is about finding friends who you would not expect to be your friends. Don't assume people are bad, but follow your gut. And if you live in a city with great politicians, support the heck out of them, and keep your infrastructure and your orders of secession very, very strong. Keep everybody safe. If you're in a small, safe area, and you're like, that's in the city, it is coming to you. So get your shit locked down now and keep your powder dry. And just be good. Be good people. Do good things. Don't do bad things. Be safe and peaceful. And I'm gonna leave with that because I always feel like I'm digging a hole as soon as I start talking about self-defense stuff. I don't want it taken the wrong way. Love everybody and be safe and careful, and don't go into ambushes. Don't get ambushed. Follow your instincts. Do recons and patrols and walk your neighborhood and wave and say hi to everybody. Learn everyone's names. Easy, simple stuff to do. Yeah. Clean, dry socks. That's for dang sure. Don't wait any longer for medical procedures. Don't wait any longer to buy things that you know you're gonna need. Yeah, there's a YouTuber, was it Southern Prepper One? He always like, buy extra socks and underwear because, well, it's affordable because you're gonna use it sooner or later. Same thing with shoes and boots and stuff. Head on a swivel and situationally aware. Yep, and along with your situational awareness, make sure you have the capacity and training to be able to react to threats. Keep your hands and feet to yourself. Don't bite anyone and don't take things that don't belong to you. And buy my books, and I'm going to stop this podcast because my throat's wearing out, and appreciate you all, and talk to you later. Bye. Buy my books.